I get the impression that LMF, that stands for Lack of Moral Fibre, wasn't exactly the RAF's finest hour. There's quite a lot of confusion over the history. It doesn't come up much in official histories of the RAF, and it's hard to find out a lot about it. Certain papers have been mysteriously lost. But lack of moral fibre was something that was invented as a label, really. It was designed to stigmatise because there was such a terrible attrition rate in the early stages of the war, particularly in Bomber Command. So in December 1939, the Wellington bomber crews were being knocked out at a rate of about 50%, and you can imagine that fear was widespread. It was got harder and harder to go back on each bombing mission, and the last thing the RAF wanted was to give aircrew a get-out clause in the form of a medical diagnosis like flying fatigue or aeroneurosis, I think it was called. And so they invented this horrible label, lack of moral fibre, which was really like branding an airman a coward, and they were stripped of their badges and their position and completely humiliated. But it was very muddled, thinking about it. It was both seen as a character flaw, a failure that was maybe down to bad blood or a family inheritance, or you came from the wrong kind of family. But at the same time, it was terribly infectious, it was contagious, and so there was this anxiety it could spread from crew member to crew member, and you can imagine that was a particular problem in bomber crews where you have more, lots of people working together. In fact, one autobiography was called The Eighth Passenger, fear being the eighth passenger on a bomber mission. Just after I'd finished the first draft of That Burning Summer, there was a news story that Polish had become Britain's second language after English.